Hello, my name's John. These are some Skaven. It's Mordheim Month, and you're watching War Games, Models, and Other Hobbies. Hello, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making some of the original models that were released with Mordheim. Got here the plastic Skaven sprue, which was only recently retired. For the last 25 years, it started out as the Skaven from Mordheim. It then became the Skaven Night Runners and has only just, like I said, been retired with all of the new Skaven releases. What I want to do is start making some of these to start creating a warband for my new games of Mordheim that I'm going to be having soon. So to start with, I'm going to grab some bases. And the big difference for me this time round is I'm going to be using 25mm bases rather than the smaller 20mm bases that originally were used with all of these models. Reason being, I want to be able to use these models with Warhammer Old World if I get the chance to play these armies within that. So first things first, let's have a look at the kit and what I'm going to be making. I'm going to be concentrating on creating some verminkin. So they are the kind of the standard henchmen of the Skaven warbands. I think I'm going to make two in this video. One of them is going to be a ranged warrior and the other is going to be a close quarters warrior. So I'll start with the close quarters one, and what I'm looking at is the spears as well as the shield and a few other bits and pieces. So let's get a spear cut from this sprue. Now, like I said, this is only just been discontinued, this sprue. So originally it was released with Mordheim itself. It then became a standard Skaven sprue for Warhammer and then Age of Sigmar. And then after that, now that the new releases of Skaven have come out, it has been unfortunately discontinued. But it was the beginning of a great time of multi-part models from Games Workshop. So as I'm wanting the shield, I'm going to go for the open hand here, this one just here. And looking at the tails, one thing that the Skaven can do in Mordheim is they can use their tail as a weapon if they're equipped. I'm not going to equip this one with a weapon in its tail, so I'm just going to use a normal tail there. And in my talking, I cut the hand that was open. What I actually want is the hand that is in a slight fist. So let's trim that one out. So let's have a look at the heads and the bodies. There's a variety of different ones here. I think I'm just going to go for a generic head without any armour or anything like that on. So the one thing that I do notice with these compared to the new Skaven is they are a lot chunkier. The Skaven that we have now are a little bit more kind of thin and I don't know, they look, well, these guys look rat-like, but I don't know, there's something about the new ones. I do like them. So here are my parts. Let's clean these up quickly. And what I'll do when I glue it together, we'll zoom on in. But I can remember back in 1999 getting this kit when it first came out. So 25 years ago, there was a 25-year younger version of myself sitting at a table building these from the original kit, it was a fantastic kit because you got the human mercenaries as well as the Skaven, and I can remember trying to work out exactly what I wanted to have in the warband. And this particular one, this little verminkin with a spear and a shield, that ends up being a total of 35 gold pieces in the game. And you had a set amount of gold pieces that you could use to create your gang, and then you earned them as you played the game. Very much like at the time Necromunda, but this was set in the Warhammer Old World, and I did love Necromunda then, as I do now, so I really liked the kind of the scale of this game. Being about little war bands, you didn't need many models. You could have like 8 or 10 models, and that's your starting gang. Didn't cost too much money to start. And I know now there's all sorts of similar games in scale available, but back then that was the only one Warhammer related that was this scale, and I really liked it, and I think it's put such a... it's stayed with me for so long. I haven't really played the other ones. It's like I've got too much of a bond to Mordheim. But let's zoom on in so we can watch this being put together. So we'll start with the feet, and I'm hoping you've enjoyed these videos this month on a little bit of a look back at Mordheim. I'm hoping to do more videos on it if people enjoy them, and I think being able to just sit down and play a game that is 25 years old, and it doesn't seem to have dated too much. There are always aspects that date, so you can't really say it's 100% perfect, but for it not to have changed or needed to be changed for so long, it kind of shows the quality of that game when it was released. But yeah, putting these together again, in a similar way to when, I mean, I wasn't too young when it came out, but I mean, I have to say the one thing though, you can tell that these are moulds of these sprues have been used a lot over the years, as the mould lines steadily got worse and worse and worse over time, but I still like them. And I don't really have a problem with mould lines. Yeah, I'd like to build a few more warbands again for Mordheim, and at the same time get back into painting some of them. And then maybe have a few more games. Oops, it's quite fiddly. And I'm being impatient again, not letting glue dry as I go. going to let this arm dry before I glue the shield on. Let's put this head in place. So I do like the variety you can have with the Skaven warband. And the Vermin King, who are the kind of the standard henchmen for them, you can have quite a variety of weaponry with them. So that's why I'm going to make a ranged one, as well as I can have a more close support one. And I think what I'll do as well, I might make a human mercenary as well. Tell you one thing though, being impatient as I am being, it is a bit tricky making sure that these are together while the glue dries. Wow, yeah, this is just completely fallen apart. Look at that. So, wow, okay. That's just fallen to pieces. Let's try and rescue this. Now this is either down to my impatience, most likely, but also the style of multi-part kit. There isn't really any... Wow, this is... Let's just hold this for a little bit. And that head has fallen as well. Okay, this is... I thought this was going to be a nice trip down memory lane. And it is actually being a trip down memory lane, because I can remember how infuriating it was sometimes. That's okay. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to let the glue on that one dry while I start on the second Skaven. So let's zoom out. Get a base. Already got that hand cut out from before. And I'm just going to trim out the body. So yeah, this is as you can see, I'm building it on the go, and things haven't quite worked out straight away as things start to fall apart, but that's part of the game of this hobby. I was being impatient, and this one is going to have the sling. And I'll give it a hooked tail. Okay, let's clean these up. So yeah, anyone else who remembers these kits probably remember the joy of trying to put them together, but I have to say, still easier than having to convert a metal miniature. But it's a good kind of thing to think about, the quality of the multi-part models 25 years ago compared to now. Some kits are much better now. Other ones, yeah, still not so much. I think it does vary depending on who designs them, the amount of support they have for making sure they work out in the end. But yeah, also my impatience. And no doubt I'll have written a little caption on the screen as it all went almost hideously wrong. So what I'm going to do now, before I stick it to the base, let's stick this body together. It's quite funny as I start putting older models back together again, how in my head what I remember and the nostalgia, it's convenient to forget those little awkward moments where things don't go well. You do kind of forget them. The little annoyances. Maybe that's just something with my age now. Different things annoy me when I'm doing my hobby. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed Mordheim Month. There's one more video to come, which is going to look at what other things are out there. Well, no, not what other things are out there. What else is out there for Mordheim. All of these videos have mainly concentrated on that original release 25 years ago from that box game. But obviously it was around for a while, so they've released quite a few things for it. While that's drying, let's bring back the other Skaven. I'm going to stick this shield on. Now I just want to take a moment with this shield. I don't know what it was, but this shield I think was one of my favourite parts from this kit. And I'm not sure why. I think it's either the kind of the Skaven triangular motif or something like that. But yeah, all these years on, I still like this little piece. So I'm going to run some glue on the back of it. And then let's drop it on the table. I'm definitely not as nimble as I was. Okay, so let's put that down. Let's hopefully this has now got to a point where I can stick it together. So I'd love to hear in the comments of any of these videos for this month, any of the memories any of you have if you played Mordheim 25 years ago, or you're only just discovering it or recently discovered it. There are a lot of resources that mean you can still play it, but that's for the next video to talk about. And I think this particular model, it's going a bit smoother than this one, just because I'm being a little bit more patient as I go. Oops. I am quite clumsy at the moment. Hold that in place. There we go. Okay. So there we have two verminkin. One, let's get that shield back on. What I should have done before the video, given an offering to the horned rat to allow me to make this correctly, but I also think, as I decided that I'm going to make a little human mercenary, the Skaven haven't quite liked that. So here are the two verminkin. So this one with the spear and the shield, that's 35 gold pieces in the game. And our little verminkin there with the sling, that's 25 gold pieces. What we're going to do now, just move those to one side. Got a few bits and pieces here of the Human Mercenaries kit. Now the Human Mercenaries, let's put a few bits on front down here. The Human Mercenaries kind of started out as the Mordheim characters, and then they developed into the Empire militia, and again it was a great sprue that's been around for many years. One of my favourite sets. As you can see, different colours of the plastic. The sets that I've got are different ages, so the plastic that they used was slightly different. That's that one there. I'm going to make a Biddenheimer with a little hammer. Okay, they're the main parts. Let's see how this goes together in comparison to the Skaven. Whether it's down to my patience, or these models haven't quite held up for 25 years. I'm going to go with my patience. And the benefit of the 25mm bases rather than the original 20, you can have them standing facing forwards on them rather than at a slight angle. I do have in my collection quite a few of these kits, which I'm glad I managed to get hold of, just because they allow for a lot of conversion. Let's carefully put this one in place. So this particular warrior, which let's concentrate on gluing this together rather than talking. Let's There we go. There we go. So this particular warrior for the Mordheimers, what I've thought about is they have the armoured gauntlets, counting one of those as a buckler, and then the hammer, and then the warrior themselves. This totals about 25 gold pieces in the game. So henchmen, I tend not to worry too much about armour in the same way as I would one of the characters. But having a buckler or a shield allows a little bit of longevity. There we go. Although I might give this guy a shield. Looks like he's in the right sort of pose for a shield. Oh, my patience with this. That's... You know what? I think he needs a shield. I don't know if I've got a shield. No, I won't worry about shield for now. Nope, I know what I can do. I know exactly what I can do. Okay. So, this is possibly the greatest sprue that was released with Mordheim. It just has little bits of equipment and things like that on it. So we've got a lantern, bow, a flintlock rifle, crossbow, greatsword, little book, little haversack and rolled up items pouches, little buckler, more little bits of equipment and a little gold chest. What will this buckler look like on there? No, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it for now. But what I am going to do, from the set for the Mordheimers, you can get the little wolf cloaks for them, which identifies them as something slightly different than the normal Marienburgers or Rieglanders. And I think a cloak on this one just adds that look, so you know exactly what warband they're from. So I'm going to go with that for this. So I know with modern kits, a lot of this stuff, yes, they're multi-part, but each part has little bits that it fits into. Whereas these old kits were truly multi-part. And because of that, it could be a little bit of a pain to put together. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. So there is our Mordheim warrior with a hammer, ready to go up against our Skaven. But yeah, it wouldn't have been Mordheim Month unless I'd made some of these original miniatures. And ease of putting together, I wouldn't say it's too difficult, but I'd say there's a little bit of annoyance. Nostalgia level, massive. And I know these kits have been re-released and used as other things over the past 25 years, but using them just with Mordheim in mind, it really sets that nostalgia going for me. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying all of these videos in Mordheim Month. If you are, I'd appreciate it if you hit a like. If you want to, subscribe as well and hit the little bell. There's one more video left in this series. Hope you stick around to watch it. I'll leave links to all of the videos in a playlist. But for now, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. My name's John, it's Mordheim Month, and you've been watching War Games, Models and Other Hobbies.